Am I the asshole for suing my father for the damage done to my house by his dogs? My F31 mom passed away last year. My dad, 56, married a woman, 37, with a son, 16, about 6 months later. I think that the age difference is a bit much, but she is nearly 40, so it's not like he's robbing the cradle. Whenever my parents went away, I would always watch their dogs. They weren't the dogs that I grew up with, but they are good puppies. My mom would always call and let me know well in advance that they were going away. I would make sure that either myself or my boyfriend would be around pretty quick after the pups got dropped off. They could behave themselves for a few hours and I would leave water out for them. I do not have any pets myself. My work can involve travel and my boyfriend works out of town for 2 weeks and then has 2 weeks off. Well, my dad and his new wife decided to go on a trip. But since it was never his responsibility, he didn't call. I was out of town. My boyfriend was working. My dad has a key to my house for emergencies and dropping off the dogs. My neighbor called me a day later about the dogs howling in my house to see if everything was okay. I called my dad and he told me that he didn't know I was out of town. I said that if he didn't come get them, I was calling animal control. So he had his new stepson come to my house to get the dogs. I have no idea why a 16-year-old kid who was trusted to stay home by himself could not just have watched the dogs in the first place. When I got home, I found a disaster area. Dog crap and piss everywhere. I don't want to describe everything because it makes me angry. To get everything that could be cleaned done and to replace my boyfriend's leather recliner, which was old but also destroyed, cost about $7,000. I told my dad I expected him to pay for everything. He said that he would see if his homeowner's insurance would cover it. They will, but the deductible is a lot. And his premiums will go up. So he said that he would take care of it. It's been a few months and I am sick of waiting. The limit for small claims court in my state is more than double what I want. So I am suing him. He was served and called me to complain. He doesn't have the money because he just bought a new car. He bought the car after my house got destroyed. I feel no pity. But his wife and him keep trying to talk me out of pursuing this. They said that my dad paid for a good chunk of my student debt and that I owe him. Him and my mom did pay off about $10,000 of my student debt. And I was grateful. It is one of the reasons I had no problem dog sitting for free. But he says that if I take this money, then he will not have money for things at his house. He isn't retired. And my mom had life insurance. Not the asshole, and it's vital to hold firm and not let them sway you here. He had months to pay you back and instead bought a car? His negligence resulted in damage to your property. He should absolutely be paying for everything, and his financial irresponsibility is not your problem. Not the asshole he entered your home without your permission and left his dogs unattended. You gave him an opportunity to pay for the damages and waited months for him to do it. It's only normal that you took the next step and sue. He bought a new car, so he clearly has other priorities than paying you back. In my opinion, paying you back will never be his priority. Keep suing. Not the asshole. He abandoned his dogs in an empty house without food and water. Or someone to walk them. He isn't just an asshole, he should be investigated for animal cruelty. Not the asshole. Get reimbursed, get your keys back, and never watch the dogs again. Am I the asshole for buying a separate fridge for our garage and putting a lock on it to keep my husband out? I, 32 female. I'm expecting my first child with my husband Paul, 36 male. Fake names. I'm currently 10 weeks pregnant and my biggest pregnancy issue is fatigue and, mainly, cravings and hunger. No matter what I do, I cannot seem to stay full. I eat all day but have managed to still lose 3 pounds. Problem is we don't always have what I want. So a few times a week, I stop at the store on my way home from work and stock up on my favorite snacks. Pizza, pickles, fruit, especially oranges, grapes and watermelon, popcorn, chicken noodle soup, string cheese, etc. I've been doing this since maybe about 5 weeks. But every time I check the fridge, almost all my snacks are gone. I keep telling Paul to stop eating my food and he says that it's not a big deal and I can just get more. But the it involves me, not him, stopping at the store more, and me, again, not him, spending more of my money. Last week, I just snapped. I had bought my favorite ice cream, Neapolitan. I put it in the freezer and decided to take a nap before writing a paper. I'm currently getting my master's. I planned to have a bowl when one woke up and began working on it. When I woke up, I went to freezer and saw it had been opened. Now, I can't eat an entire quart of ice cream all by myself, so I wasn't mad that he had some until I saw what he did to it. My husband ate all of the strawberry side and left me with just the vanilla and chocolate. And the strawberry is my favorite part. I got mad and started yelling at him. He told me it was unreasonable of me to bring food in the house and not expect him to have any of it. But I told him that wasn't what I expected, but he knew that was my favorite ice cream and my favorite part of it was all gone, and he's always eating my snacks. He just told me run to the store and get some more. So I just went back upstairs because he wasn't listening. I opened my laptop and ordered a full-sized fridge, $2,300, paid for from my personal savings account that he has never contributed to. My husband and I don't mingle our accounts together, so he never saw I bought it until 2 days ago when it was delivered to our house. He came home from work and saw it plugged in our garage. He asked why there were locks on it and how much it cost. I told him not worry how much it cost, and there are locks on it to make sure he doesn't eat all my snacks for my cravings. He said I can't control what he eats, and I told him not. I'm just controlling who eats my snacks, but the fridge in the house is open and he can have whatever is in that and the cabinets, but the fridge in the garage is for me only. I haven't had to go to the store at all this weekend and all my food is locked up. But Paul is not speaking to me for 2 reasons. For making a large purchase without talking to him first, and for turning food into a war, his words. So am I the asshole? Edit. FYI. This is the only issue we're having by right now. We've been married 2 years. Edit 2. Also, I got a full size instead of a mini because ours in the kitchen is kinda old and I figured it could replace it should it go out. Or it could just be in the garage for the summer and we can put beers and sodas in it. Not the asshole for getting a refrigerator. You have every right to be annoyed and frustrated that he has no respect for you concerning food. What bothers me is that after eating your food, he tells you to go out and buy more. That is some nerve. Why doesn't he go out himself and replace the food he took? He sounds extraordinarily selfish. Unless he is willing to have some kind of couples counseling, I'm afraid he will keep behaving this way even after the baby arrives. Sounds like he turned it into a war first. Not the asshole. Shame you have a child with this person already though, it will make the inevitable divorce messier. Am I the asshole for refusing to lie to my niece about why she is not allowed to come skiing with me? I, F29, have a brother, Hugo, M31. When Hugo was 19 he got his then-girlfriend Amy pregnant. They had their daughter Ashley, now 11, and later got married and had a baby boy, 4. Over the years, I've become close to Ashley. When I'm home, I live abroad. I take her out to shows, shopping, horse riding, etc. We also keep in contact via text. She's bright and thoughtful, just a pleasure to have around. Amy has never liked me but has mostly put this aside for Ashley. Me and my boyfriend are visiting my family for Christmas and then leaving to go skiing. We arranged for Ashley to come skiing and stay with us for New Year's. Amy wasn't keen on this idea but relented because Ashley was excited to learn how to ski, as all her school friends do. I took my BF's hire car to pick Ashley up from school on Friday, and she was excited because it's a sports car and I let her friends sit in it and take pictures. At dinner, she asked if I would drive her to and chaperone her and her friends going ice skating on Tuesday in town. Hugo said I probably didn't want to look after a bunch of kids, and Amy had already planned to chaperone. Ashley ignored him and begged me to chaperone. I didn't really mind but Amy looked annoyed so I said I wouldn't want to mess with the established plan. Ashley kept pushing, and said she didn't want Amy to come because Amy dressed badly and was never fun and embarrassed her. Hugo told her to apologize, which she did, but she also kept insisting it was true. Amy got teary and Hugo kept telling Ashley she'd upset her mother, but this just made Ashley angrier and she dug her heels in. Because of this, she was told she was not allowed to go ice skating and is now not speaking to Amy. Yesterday, Amy and Hugo came to me and said they didn't want Ashley to come skiing anymore. Amy feels like Ashley needs to spend more time with her family and Hugo is supporting her. They asked if I would tell Ashley that me and boyfriend had changed our plans and wouldn't be going on the trip anymore. I asked why and they said if they told Ashley the truth that she would blame Amy and that would defeat the point of her trying to build a bridge with Ashley. I said I understand that but I didn't feel right lying to Ashley and if her parents had made the decision they need to deal with the consequences, not push it onto me. Amy said if I cared about Ashley I would realize it's best for me to fall on my sword rather than alienate her further from her mother. I said no again, but Hugo said we should all take until Wednesday to think about it. Ashley is still being very standoffish to her mother, and I know if she finds out her mother cancelled the ski trip it will get worse, so now I'm wondering if I should go along with Amy's plan. I just want what's best for Ashley. Am I the asshole? Editing to add the background to Amy and Ashley's relationship. Commented this elsewhere. A lot of it comes from Amy trying very hard to be Ashley's friend. Amy was young when she had Ashley and she was quite isolated caring for her while Hugo worked and went to uni. He was cut off by our parents at that time. She threw all her efforts into being a mum and being as close to Ashley as humanly possible. Ashley has explained to me that this has become very suffocating to her. She is trying to forge her own circle and she feels like Amy insists on being part of it, while also refusing to engage with her on her level. The second part is that my parents pay for Ashley to attend a very prestigious private school. Hugo and Amy are nowhere near as affluent as the other families and Ashley feels a bit left out. It's part of the reason I have chipped in for some of her extracurricular activities. But the fact is, she doesn't always feel like she fits in, which is hard for her. Her school is full of non-working, Range Rover, Birkin mothers who are either cool or absent, and Amy is neither. She's involved but Ashley finds her stifling, and doesn't want her involved in her social life. It's also my opinion that Ashley is trying to get some emotional space from her mother only way she knows how, by making her not want to spend time with her. Amy doesn't respond to her requests, so I think she's just resorting to being mean to her. Which obviously isn't okay. Edit 2. Since this is being asked a lot. Ashley and I have talked since the dinner and she knows I think she shouldn't have said what she said. We've talked about it. Even she said she shouldn't have said what she said. Did I go ham and tell her she's entitled, spoilt, throw the kitchen sink at her? No. But she knows I think she was wrong and she agree. Not the asshole, and not only will Ashley prefer knowing the truth, but she will also feel as though she can trust you because you are refusing to lie to her. Also, Amy trying to guilt you into lying by pulling the "if you actually care about Ashley" rhetoric is such an asshole move. Not the asshole. Amy and Hugo need to confront Ashley about how she treats her mother and they should not ask you to lie. Ashley not going on the ski trip should be presented for what it actually is, a punishment, not a means of bridge building. Not the asshole. Lying to her is not going to make the situation better. Ashley needs a punishment for being so rude to her mother, but canceling her holiday is over the top, and lying about it is a bad idea. Am I the asshole for not letting the surrogate family touch my stomach and feel the baby move? So I, 24 female, I'm currently 6 months pregnant as a surrogate for a family. Everything has been smooth sailing for the most part throughout this process, other than one thing. Even when I was pregnant with my daughter I could not stand people touching my stomach. I don't understand the obsession with people touching pregnant bellies, but it bothers me when people try to do it. Anyways, the family I'm surrogating for has asked multiple times if they can touch my stomach or rub it and feel the baby move and kick. The wife stating that she's always wanted to experience feeling the kicking and moving baby. Now for context, she can fully have children of her own. This surrogacy is a choice they made so as not to interfere with her career by being pregnant. She has a physically demanding job and doesn't want to risk anything happening to the baby or her career. She's a personal trainer. They have been constantly asking me to touch my stomach and I always politely decline as it is uncomfortable for me. Well, while me and wife were at a baby appointment last week, she reached over and rubbed my stomach while talking to the doctor. I kindly asked her to stop touching my stomach and she snapped at me and said I was ruining the experience for her and it's her baby, she should be able to feel her kick. I snapped back and said that it may be her baby but it's my body, and that if she really wanted to feel her baby kick she should have gotten pregnant herself. I've gotten calls from her and her husband calling me an asshole for yelling at her for binding with her child. My friends and parents are split on whether I'm an asshole or not since it is their baby. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Just because you're carrying the baby doesn't give them a right to touch you without permission. I'm going with not the asshole because you've repeatedly said you're not comfortable with this and she ignored your wishes and touched you after you already told her you don't consent, which is always inappropriate unless you need to for life-saving reasons. If this was that important, she should have included it in the contract. Please tell me you have a contract, but she didn't, right? Not the asshole for not wanting your belly touched. Once it's born, they have all the time in the world to bond. Until that moment, they're not touching the baby, they're touching you. Politely advise her and husband that if they continue to make you uncomfortable, You'll need to reconsider allowing them in the birthing room, as they don't respect your vulnerability.